Your first look at high school football scores and highlights. This is First Down Friday Night. Sponsored by your Community Health Mart Pharmacy, Whataburger, and B2 EDI.
Time flies by when we're having fun. We've already made it to week 4 of the regular season, and after tonight, a third of the season will have been played already. Welcome to First Down Friday Night. I'm Mo Carter. She's Naomi Gray.
Yes, and tonight all of our games are early season region games, and some of them have first place implications.
Absolutely. That was the case for our varsity game of the night. Jonah Carp, he's got a quick preview from Athens.
Athens High School, fresh off a 56-point performance against Hazel Green last week. Back at it tonight, playing host to Muscle Shoals. That's our varsity game of the week, coming up a little later in the show. Guys?
All right, thank you so much, Jonah. Can't wait to see those highlights in just a few minutes. Now, let's start off with our top game. On paper, the rivalry between Mae Jemison and Lee is relatively new. But if you add the J.O. Johnson legacy, that rivalry with Lee goes all the way back 50-plus years. Tonight, Jemison and Lee meeting at Milton Frank for their annual showdown. Pride and bragging rights on the north side were on the line. And if you missed this game, man, you missed one heck of a contest. But guess what? We got the highlights for you. Lee would strike first. They put the big man, James Vasher, in the backfield, and he barrels his way across the goal line for a score. Generals go up 8-0 thanks to a 2-point conversion. Now check this play out. Jonathan Jones gets the grab as the wide receiver screen. Watch him work. He'll cut all the way back across the field, picks up a block from the quarterback, and then takes it to the house 44 yards for a touchdown. However, their 2-point conversion was no good. They're down 8-6. Second quarter now, 4th down inside the red zone. Matthew Jemison calls his own number and bounces to the end zone from 15 yards out. They go on to go up 12-8. Let's go to the second half now. Jemison are running their offense. They're on top 12-8 as you see Coach Harold Wells right there. They hand it off to the running back, and he coughs it up. Need to get that man some medicine, or Lee can just go ahead and just take the dose and take the fumble back to the end zone for a score. Extra point was good. They were up 15-12, but boy, oh boy, let's check out your final score from Milton Frank Stadium tonight. As the Mae Jemison Jaguars put together a late rally, they beat the Lee Generals 28-22. Next week, Mae Jemison will take on Buckhorn, while Lee will take on James Clemens. Let's move up to Class 7A now. James Clemens taking on Huntsville over at Lewis Cruz Stadium. We'll pick things up in the second quarter. Huntsville down 20-14, knocking on the door. Stone Lawless throws the fade route, and he's got a man. It's Cameron White for a touchdown as he hauls it in. Panthers on top 21-20. Back comes James Clemens. Gio Lopez throws the running back screen to Gabriel Ballard, and Ballard, he's got some vision. Watch him follow his blocks and gets all the way down to the 3-yard line. That would lead to this. Dante Snodgrass with a direct snap in the wild jet formation, finding pay dirt. Jets on top 26-21. But they're not done just yet, Naomi, because guess what? They're going for 2. They want to be up by 7 as they go into the halftime locker room. And guess what? It's Snodgrass hauling in the wheel route right there. Jets led 28-21 at that point at the half. But let's check out your final from this high-scoring affair as the Jets go on to win by a final of 43-40. James Clemens is putting up the points week by week. Next week, James Clemens will take on Lee. Huntsville, they've got a bye.
Now staying in Class 7A, Sparkman is another team that's still unbeaten in region play. The Senators are averaging 46 per game in their region games, and tonight they look to stay unbeaten in league play with a tough road test. Coach White and the Senators traveling across the river to Austin to face the Black Bears. And they'd have a solid 21-0 lead in the second. Here's them adding more, or trying to add more. Luke Skomberg takes a snap and throws a dart to an open receiver who's doing a good job playing catch me if you can. Couldn't even get his number how fast he was moving, but it'll be good enough for just the first down. Next play, Senators stay the air route. Skomberg looking to connect with Matthew Rozier, but it's no good. Kudos to the Black Bears defense and a little sportsmanship there by Austin. You don't see that too often, but Austin goes back on the attack, and quarterback Douglas D.A.R, he stays on the ground, handing it off, and they get pushed back by an aggressive Senator front. That's going to be a loss of yards, and the Senators will eventually get the ball back with a little less than 2 minutes in the half. Luke Skomberg sure loves the left side of the field. He'd connect with Jaden Murphy, who takes it down to the red zone. But it wouldn't be enough now. You see, the Senators will be unable to convert here on the field goal. It could have been crucial for them to get it because they would wind up not leading as much as possible as we expected, because Austin came back, but the Senators, they'd eventually win it. 38-21 is your final. Next week, both of these teams have a bye week.
Must be nice. Must
be nice, right? Moving on up now. Last night in Milton, Frank Grissom tried to knock off their former coach Chip English and the Albertville Aggies. But the Aggies knocking on the door 14-0, and quarterback Andy Howard throws the quick pass, and it's chucked down the field by number 3, Caleb Hunt, just getting into the end zone on that interception. Now, as you can see, Coach is getting pretty upset with his players, trying to calm the guys down. There was a lot of turnovers in the first half, but Mark Howard takes the handoff and gets the fumble. Colton Bagwell eventually recovers. Then let's go to the end of the half. Final seconds, Andy Howard, he tosses it up, way up, and it's tipped around, and Javenci Dorival comes down with the Hail Mary TD pass. Aggies led 21-7 at the half, and Albertville goes on to win it by the 34-27 final. Next week, Albertville steps out of region play to face Bones. Grissom has a bye week.
All right, so let's take you out to Brawley now. Just to let you know, it's Boaz.
I was thinking that was when I was like, what is that?
Oh, it's all good. It's just like the biblical figure, just like your name. All right, everyone, let's go out to Brawley Stadium now. There was a 1-hour rain delay between Florence and Bob Jones, so the game started around 8 p.m. Falcons up 7-6. Bob Jones in punt formation. Kamari Clarney of Florence comes up with the block. He's a freshman now, Naomi. He blocks and he takes it all the way in for a touchdown. Falcons led 14-6 at the half. We had actually another delay in this game, so let's show you where we stand at right now. It's Bob Jones on top, 29-21 in the fourth quarter. We'll keep an eye on this contest and let you know how things go before this show ends this evening.
And now we love a good close game, so I don't know how that's going to turn out, but I'm hoping that Bob Jones goes ahead and stuns everybody and takes another win.
For sure.
But of course, the WZDX Sports team is on social media. Mo Carter at WZDX, Naomi at WZDX, Jonah at WZDX. Send us a tweet. We may read it on air later.
Absolutely. All right, everyone. We're just getting started on First Down Friday night. Coming up next, we've got more action coming your way from across the Tennessee Valley, and we will not forget about our varsity game of the night. Stay tuned for that.
Now back to the action on First Down Friday night.
All right, let's take you back to the gridiron. 4 teams in Class 4A Region 7 are still unbeaten, and all 4 of them actually played each other tonight. That included Madison County and Randolph. Raiders up 7-0, looking for more. Nick Strong takes the speed sweep around the right side and finds pay dirt. He scores the Raiders touchdown. They're up 14-0. But back come the Tigers of Madison County. Isaiah Purdue, a former First Down Friday night MVP of the week. Look at him just bounce off the defenders. He's like, get off me, as I'm running down the sideline. He gets knocked out inside the red zone. Eventually, that would lead to this. His quarterback, Ramiro Towers, looking for a man, can't find anyone, so he's just going to scramble, shakes a man, shakes off a defender, shakes off a second one, dives to the pylon, and he's in for a score. Tigers now down 14-7. Not a bad situation going on for Madison County out there in Gurley. Now back comes Randolph. Mason Meadows calling his own number, and 4 takes it in for 6 right there. 21-7 at that point. Let's check out your final from Gurley tonight as Randolph goes on to win by a final of 35-21. Also in that region I was talking about, Naomi, North Jackson and Madison Academy. There were the other undefeated teams. Madison Academy all over North Jackson, 33-0. So let's show you about next week. Madison County, they'll take on Gunnersville, while Randolph, they will travel over to take on Westbrook Christian.
And staying in that region, D.A.R. and Westminster Christian were both searching for their first win in region play. The Wildcats defense starts off strong, forcing a 3-and-out with a big sack by Harlan Loveday. Just the big guy doing what the big guy's supposed to do. Wildcats with the ball now, and they throw it to the end zone, and Isaiah Lattimore drops.
You gotta be kidding me. Oh, man.
And the ball is turned over on downs. The Patriots' next drive, it's all about running the ball with number 31, Brady Largan, picking up huge chunks of yards on that play. And then later, Tyler Darling gets in on the action, going nearly untouched for the touchdown. Patriots go up 7-0. And then on the next play, after the kickoff, not only does Largan play offense, he also plays defense here as he picks up Brandon on this one. And then eventually Westminster goes on to win it by the final of the 24-22. Next week, Westminster versus Lawrence County. D.A.R moves on.
All right, not a bad game out there at Earl Van Dyke Stadium. Hazel Green playing host to Coleman tonight on their Pink Out night. First quarter, Coleman on the move. Jake Doolin takes the inside handoff, and he finds pay dirt right there. Coleman on top, 6-0. More from Mr. Doolin later on. We've seen him do it inside the red zone. Now let's just see him do it from 55 yards out. Watch him as he stiff arms a man, and he's at the 15 to 20, 10-5. Touchdown, Coleman. And next thing you know, Coleman there on top. 13-0. Now Coleman will come through and tackle on another field goal later in the second half. That makes it 16-0 for the guys from down I-65. Now the Trojans before the half, Jerron Smith would haul in a touchdown pass, but it was not enough for Hazel Green. They fall to Coleman tonight by a final of 29-21. Next week, actually these teams actually have some buys, so we'll see them at some point in time.
Yes, moving on now. Fife hosting Brindley Mountain. The win streak for the Red Devils now stands at 48. How impressive. Fife was off and running early. Kyle Dukes hands it to Brody Hicks. He splits the teeth of the defense to break the scoreless tie early. Red Devils up 7-0 in the first quarter. Then they were just getting started. Next drive, Dukes with the keeper finds daylight to the left of his line, and Fife goes up for the 14-0 lead. Coach Benefield tells his team to keep up the tempo. Later in the first quarter, Aubrey Baker now behind center. He gives it to Hicks, and again he takes off. Red Devils were up 28-0 after the first quarter. In the second, no signs of slowing down. As you see, they go ahead and score for the 35-0 lead in the second quarter.
They were just scoring all night.
Just a beautiful shutout in the Brindley. Shuts out Brindley 56-0. Red Devils has extended their win streak to 49 games. Next week, Fife has a bye week, and Brindley Mountain takes on Summerton Christian.
All right, everyone, coming up next, the highly anticipated battle between Athens and Muscle Shoals, and we will also talk about our First Down Friday Night MVP of the reigning week. Stay tuned for that.
Now, more scores and highlights from across the valley on First Down Friday Night.
Welcome back. We have tons more action of region play across the area where top seeds in that region are on the line.
Absolutely. We've seen a lot of teams who are undefeated lose tonight. We've also seen a lot of teams who are undefeated stay on top. And we had a huge game out there in Athens tonight between two teams that know each other quite well. For more on this game, which is our varsity game of the week, let's head out to Athens High School. Actually, Athens Middle School is where the stadium is located, to check in with Jonah Karp. What's up, Jonah?
Yeah, guys, we've got a bit of a rivalry game for our varsity game of the week, Athens and Muscle Shoals. But before we show you what happened here at Athens High School, let's travel about 20 minutes up the road over to East Limestone, who played host to Brewer earlier today. Homecoming game for East Limestone, taking on Brewer, balloons flying high. No score in the first. Alexander Mason looking to change that, just barely keeps his feet in bounds. Tight ropes for the score, 7-0 Indians. Not much offense early for the Patriots. Caden Childers with some space picks up the first, but the East Limestone defense would hold strong and force a punt. Ball back to the Indians, little pitch, look who it is. It's Mason again with all kinds of running room. East Limestone jumps out ahead early. Here's the final from that game. Alrighty, now to the varsity game of the week. Athens and Muscle Shoals, 7-0 Trojans. Golden Eagles threatening at the end of the first half. Jaden Jude rolls, scrambles, floats it to Preston Haney, trying to make a play. Ball knocked out of his grip, recovered by Muscle Shoals with less than 2 minutes to play before halftime, but they would just run out the clock. So into the second half, still 7-0 Trojans. Jude taking it himself, has some space, promising drive to start, but the Golden Eagles would be forced to punt. Looking for a break. On the punt, it hits a Trojan. Athens recovers. Larry Howard Jr. picks up the loose ball, so Athens gets a mulligan. 3rd and 16. Jude rolls and whips it down the sideline. Caught by Johnson Spiegel. Gain of 9. 4th and 7. Athens opts to go for it, and back to what they do best. QB keeper with Jude picks up the first and more. Ground game effective. for the Golden Eagles. Knocking on the door again, trying to knot the score, back on the ground, handoff to Cameron Gatewood, finds pay dirt to pull Athens within 1. So the final score from Athens, the Trojans win, 27-13 was the final score. Here's a competitive slate for next week. Muscle Shoals, they're off next week. They have a bye week. Athens travels to Hueytown, that's Phillip Rivers' alma mater, traveling to Jameis Winston's alma mater, star quarterback of the New Orleans Saints, as Mo knows. Brewer on the road next week, taking on ARAB, and we have a battle of limestones next week, East versus West. East traveling to West next week, guys.
Thank you, Jonah. Each week, we bring you coverage from all the high school football games in North Alabama. We also recognize one player that stands out from the rest. Here's our Jonah Karp with our Week 3 MVP.
Played its first victory of the season, taking down Huntsville 52-49. The Patriots rode a brilliant performance from their star quarterback, Brayshawn Hardy.
I mean, it's special. I mean, he's a special young man, and not only as a football player, but he's a great kid, and he brings some leadership ability to this team. And again, he makes the plays that needs to be made, and I think he's surrounded by a great support staff and allows him to be really successful.
Hardy posted nearly 400 all-purpose yards and scored 5 touchdowns, including what proved to be the game winner, a 29-yard rushing score with less than a minute to play.
Their linebackers are kind of spread out more. All game I was hitting outside for my run if I was taking off for a run. But that play I just saw space. I took the ball and just made a play. I think it was Quentin or KJ, one of them. They had a great block to let me get the edge for the touchdown.
I mean, most of the time, he's the most athletic kid on the field. It's the thing. He's so dangerous with his legs, but he also can throw the ball well enough to beat you too. So it kind of makes it tough on a defense to key in on one thing, his running or his passing, because he's a true dual threat quarterback.
For his efforts, Hardy has earned the latest First Down Friday Night MVP award, brought to you by Whataburger.
My mom cared about it more than I did, really. She literally spammed me with exclamation marks and was like, "Oh my God, my baby."
In Madison, Jonah Karp, Fox 54 Sports.
Well, congratulations to Rashawn. Nominations are now open. Just send us an email at news@rocketcitynow.com, or you can head to the MVP section on the sports page of rocketcitynow.com.
Absolutely. It's a simple process. We need the player's name, the school, the position, and most importantly, the stats.
Yes.
We know they're a great person. We know a great person in the community, but we need to know what they did on the gridiron. And don't forget, this award is sponsored by Whataburger. All right, everyone, we've got our 2-minute drill coming up. We'll have a lot more final scores and another set of highlights. Stay tuned for that, which is coming up next.
Now to Morgan County, where the Decatur Heritage Eagles hosted rival Shoals Christian on homecoming night. Eagles will waste no time once they get on the field. First play of the game, quarterback Braden Cowell drops back and launches a rocket to Alex Malone. He'd find the end zone from the 20-yard line for the Eagles' first score. And they'll attempt the PAT, but it'll be no good. 6-0 Eagles in the first. Later, Shoals Christian goes on the hunt, but quarterback Kyle Wilson will start feeling the effects of the rain. He drops the rock and recovers, but the Flames couldn't accept the drive with the score. And the Eagles will go on to win it in non-surprising fashion with a 46-0 blowout. Next week, Decatur Heritage travels to Woodville. Shoals Christian travels to Whitesburg Christian.
All right, we got an update from that Bob Jones game as Bob Jones holds on to go on to win 29-21 down there in Florence tonight. Next week, Bob Jones travels down to Auburn. Florence, they've got a bye week. Thank you, everyone, for joining us on the Week 4 edition of First Down Friday Night right here on Fox 54. She's Naomi Gray. I'm Mo Carter. And for Jonah Karp, have yourself a great night, a great weekend. We'll see you next time.
You've been watching First Down Friday Night, sponsored by your Community Health Mart Pharmacy, Whataburger, and B2 EDI.